Hello. So this is day one of my little video series, and it will be about cereal mascots that I could beat up in a fight. Today we're gonna start off pretty easy with the Honey Nut Cheerios B. Now, this guy is pretty cool. I've always liked the Honey Nut Cheerios B. Seems like a cool guy. But if we're talking a fight, I think it's kind of hard with cereal mascots because sometimes I think based on what you're looking at, it's hard to gauge how big they actually are. So if we're basing this on like a regular bee and the commercials where he is the size of a regular bee, then I think I could easily take this guy on. Like, at least I'm definitely like surviving. Like I could definitely beat him. Now, obviously, bees do have stingers, and that would not be good to get stung. That would hurt quite a bit. Now, the reason I again bring up the size of these characters is because sometimes the character seems to almost like change size based on what you're looking at. This isn't exactly what I was looking for, but you know what I mean. Like sometimes, sometimes you might see this guy at a store, and he might just be just huge. And if he was like me, like a human-sized bee, I think I could still take him on. It might be a little bit harder. Well, it would be harder. Although he wouldn't be as fast. But no, I still think I could take him on. So Honey Nut Cheerios B, you're going down. All right. Today is day 2 of what cereal mascots I could beat in a fight. Today we're looking at a tag team. Applejack and Cinnamon. Okay. First, I'm going to look at this like one-on-one. Applejack, he's going down. Okay, this guy's kind of a punk. In the commercials, he was never really quite good. He was always outwitted by Cinnamon. I don't think he has a good strategy. I think he just kind of runs in and expects that he'll win just because. I would stomp on him, done. Now Cinnamon. Cinnamon's a little harder. Now Cinnamon knows how to skateboard. He's got a one-up on me there. I don't know how to skateboard. I do also think Cinnamon, there's something charming about him, so he would have it against me that I wouldn't want to fight him. However, I do think that if it came to it and it really was it was me or him, I think I could get the upper hand and probably snap him in half. Now, as a tag team, these guys would have a better shot. I'm not going to say they wouldn't. I think together, Cinnamon, if they were in a situation where they're like, oh, we got to take this guy on, I think Cinnamon would be able to convince Apple, like, hey, Apple, you got to think, all right? And Apple would be like, Cinnamon, you're right. Then I think they would get a little more of a strategy. I think they'd get a few more licks in. I think, all in all, it would just be a tougher fight. However, I do still think in the end that I would reign triumphant over them. I just think they're too, I don't know, they just seem too fragile. You know what I mean? Like, they look like they talk big talk, but in a fight with me, I'm sorry. I don't think they're lasting. I'm a big Applejack's guy. But I'm sorry, Applejack and Cinnamon. I think I'm winning this one. All right, it is day 3 of the cereal mascot fighting thing. Today, it's the Lucky Charms Leprechaun. Okay, so this guy, if we're talking just physical stature, I think I could take him down. He kind of seems like a punk. He runs away from most things. He doesn't really seem like he would have much anything really going on fighting wise. I don't think he'd be prepared. In the ads, he's always running away from people. However, he does have, his name is literally Lucky. And I could see him perhaps, if he truly does have extra luck because he is a leprechaun, which would make sense, he could beat me.
Also, if we're talking like a fair fight, like it's like, no, this ends when somebody wins the fight, we'd have to go to the end. However, if we're allowing like, oh, hypothetically, like if you were to run away and actually got away, you'd be fine. He might also get lucky and be able to run away. However, that still doesn't mean he would beat me though. I think then I would kind of win by default. So I'll say if he runs away, I'd beat him by default. But then in like an actual fight, I'm pretty confident that I could take him on. I do think that he, like, again, there might be like some random, 1,001 like chance that this guy is able to beat me. But I don't know, I'm not really getting that vibe from him. I am fairly confident that I could take this guy down. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that guy.
Hey, what's going on? We got another cereal mascot fight. Today it's Mr. Captain Crunch. So, as you can see, this guy is a highly decorated, I want to say veteran. I'll just say he's a veteran. He clearly knows a lot about the sea, I would assume. He's a fighter, I could guess. Well, put a pin in that. Up front, I would say this guy doesn't really look the toughest. Like the outfit is fire. Like, he looks awesome. But I feel like he's got a very friendly smile. Like, take a look at this. This guy's got very, very friendly smile. All right. And everything I know about Captain Crunch, it's like he doesn't really seem like the violent type. He seems pretty friendly, pretty docile. But I am thinking that if he were to be put in a fighting, encounter, he could tussle with some muscle. I think he could perhaps put up a few good ones. This one is the first one that I'm gonna say is pretty close to a draw for me. Captain Crunch is also pretty old. So I think like old age Captain Crunch, I would definitely have a better chance of taking down. However, I do think he does give me the vibe of someone who has like some experience. And if we're also talking like in his prime, he might take me down. I'm not one to say I'm as tough as Captain Crunch, but I do admire him. And you know what? I think me and him would be pretty evenly matched. That's it. All right, it's the next day. Today, I'm going to be fighting the Rice Krispies elves. So these guys, they don't seem that tough. They look pretty, they don't look like fighting is their forte. But honestly, I think these guys pack a punch. I think it's an act. I think they, present themselves as like, oh yeah, we're the cute little Rice Krispie elves, haha. But they destroy me. Absolutely destroy me. There's also 3 of them. So I think it'd be like a poof, 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 poof. They would just be like knocking me around. They'd like circled around me, like I'd be done for. And honestly, like, okay, so the snap, crackle, pop, I know it's seen as like kind of an innocent thing, because it's like, oh, it's the sound that Rice Krispies make. I think it's really it's an indicator of something darker. I think that's what they're gonna do to me. They're gonna snap, crackle, and pop me. Not exclusively in that order. I think they don't even care about that. They'll just do it however they want. So honestly, if these guys are who I'm going up against, I'm freaking out. I'm running away. I'm trying to figure out a way out of there. Because I think I'm going down. Now let's say 1-on-1. Okay, so I think Snap is the ginger one. I think he is no. I think Pop's probably the weakest out of them. He, I think, is more like, fight or flight. The one in blue, I think, is the real mastermind. He would destroy me. And then Snap, he's there. He could help out. But, like, especially with a team, it's like they are all taking me down. So Rice Krispies elves, they're taking me down.
All right, it's the next day. Today we got the Cookie Crisp Wolf. So this guy, I remember I didn't pay as much attention to him as other cereal mascots when I was a kid. He didn't quite interest me as much. Because Cookie Crisp, while when I was very young, were high up on my cereal list, you know, it's just cookies. They very quickly faded a bit from my high up cereal tier list. Anyway, yeah, so this wolf, he looks kind of like a punk. I don't really think he could do much. He seems kind of cowardly, and he's also not like the Cocoa Puffs bird, who we'll get to him later. But the Cocoa Puffs bird, who it's like he has these like frantic, like earth-shattering abilities that he can kind of build up to and get to later on. From what I can tell, the wolf never does really. I think the wolf, if I remember from the commercials, usually just fails, or it's just like, haha, I like the cookies. So from what I can tell, these images get weird real quick. Anyway, yeah, this wolf, I don't think he could do much to me if we're going off of what I'm getting the vibe of like cartoon wolf. However, if we're talking like a real wolf, he's eating my ass. I'm out of here, dude. I'm down for the count. He, like, you know, real wolves are very ferocious, very fast, sharp teeth, got that. This is, of course, the Cookie Crisp wolf we're talking about. So, you know, I have to take a little bit of that into consideration. So if we're talking like, if I'm just, could I be Cookie? You know what? Yeah, I think I could. I think I could beat the Cookie Crisp wolf in a fight. I had my doubts, but you know what? I think eventually I could take him down.
Go, sorry.
Hey guys, what's up? You've reached intermission. Hasn't this been a crazy ride? I think so. Anyway, this is the Student Center, one of the most poppin' places on campus. Anyway, how are you guys? I'm doing good. Yeah, this whole cereal thing's been fun. I think most of them I could win. If my memory's serving me right, I won most of these fights so far. But what about you guys? Comment down below. Would you win? Would you not win? Would you hug? Make sex? Wow, what a great experience for all of us. Oh, that's flashing. Anyway, wow.
You got a minute.
Okay. Gee whiz, guys, you had any fun experience lately? Boy, I know I have. Out on the quad, man, me and the crew were out, and man, we just stole the DePaul mascot pig and just charged with that puppy across the quad. And DePaul was like, "Oh man, what happened?" And I was like, "We got you, haha!" Oh man, wow.
30 seconds left.
Time sure does fly. But now it's time to talk about my favorite place in Chicago, Buddy Guy's Legends Live Blues. I haven't been yet, but every time I walk past and that picture is smiling at me, boy howdy am I smiling too. Well anyways guys, this has been fun. Thanks. Signing off. Back to the show.